Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Know-it-all gaming here for Project Highrise, the perfect start. So let's get a game started, and let's give the tower a name. So, Know-it-all. There we go. Magnificent towers, that'll do. Leave all of the settings as they are, and next. Now we just have to wait for our initial tower to load. Here we go. So here's your initial tower. You have a construction office in the basement, one power generator and one cable cabinet on the first floor. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to increase the size of the tower. So you click on the construction and then you click on the add floor. There we go. Oh, fill in that gap. Okay, that's about high enough. Okay, so I'll drag that back over. Okay, got to the second floor. So we've got basement 1, ground floor, first floor and second floor. Let's expand the basement because we will need to put in more power transformers and other services as the building develops. So first let's put a lift. Can't put it in a basement, you have to start on the first floor until later on when you unlock special lifts. So let's see, should we put it in the middle? Yeah, we'll put it in the middle for now because the tower isn't that big. So there we go, our lift is in. Okay, and then power, so that's your power lines that are coming off of that initial cable box, and that initial transformer in the basement has a capacity of 10, so you can power 10 units. Now these are contracts, so let's take on one of the initial contracts. So by clicking up in the top right hand corner there, you can take on contracts and that gives you some extra money. Now the idea here is to be turning a profit as quickly as possible so that we're not in negative on the daily. Okay, not overly happy with that location, so let's demolish that and build it again. So we go to the services, there we go, utilities, and we put that all the way up to the top floor. And now we need to put our electrical cabling in for the building. So let's put the electrical cabling in, there we go. Okay, and later on you will have to have phone lines, cable TV, water and gas. But for now it's just electricity. No, put in our first offices. So there we go. Can't do that yet because that part of the building hasn't been completed by our construction crews. So there we go. Let's have a look what offices we can put. Okay. So we select a couple of tenants, put them in, and you can see also underneath what additional services they require. Now those services are in the cardboard box next to the offices or residential properties, and then we can put in what is required. So there we go, drop that in. Now we can put in the office there, that's it, and the next one, and there we go. So that's our first two offices allocated into the building. Now let's speed up time to allow our construction crews time to go and finish doing the rest of the building. So that's it, off they go, getting those first two offices set up. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now our guys are continuing to fill out the floors. So as you can see, it goes like a light grey colour once it's finished, and you can then use that space to be allocated for whatever you choose to allocate. So let's pause the game again. No, let's keep going. Let's let the guys do what they're doing, and we'll get to the end of day 1 and we will see what our daily balance is. Of course it's going to be hugely negative to begin with, and as you can see that requires another additional office service. Okay, so that's our third office in. And that's the end of day one. So minus 3,959 with a total revenue of 500. We're at minus 315 a day, so that is clearly not good. But our construction guys are continuing to work, and there is now more space for us to play with in the building. Now we've got 3 offices at the moment and nothing else. So obviously we'd have the copy services in the basement for the offices, and there was a requirement for another service as well. But we'll let our guys do what they're doing. So running on fast time, let them keep going, and now what we can do is put in some more office space. So they're nearly at the end of that first floor. There we go. Okay, let them keep going. Okay, so now we've got some more space. Let's put another small office in there. Another one there. Ah yes, food. So you want to put in small restaurants to serve your offices so that they can get their coffees and their breakfasts and everything else. So food court restaurants, let's have a look what there is. That's fast food and serves lunch. That serves lunch and that serves lunch. Okay, donut shops, so coffee and breakfast for Catherine's Donuts. So you need to think about what you're going to be serving to keep your office workers happy. So that serves coffee and breakfast, and it needs water. So we need to put in water, so let's pause the game. Okay, so here's our water. Okay, so let's put in a water pump. That will give us a capacity of 10, and then we will also need to put in, there we go, the cabinets for the water pipes, and we'll run those down. So now the donut shop has got the water and electricity that it needs. Okay, so now we can go back. There we go. And now we can assign an office, so there's only one left at the moment. Okay, so we need a greater variety of food court restaurants before it will that tenant will move in. So let's get another food place, put that in there. Okay, cancel off there, and then we will put in a food court restaurant, so that's going to serve lunch, so it doesn't really matter what. So we've got easy soup, sausage, or Philadelphia hot dog shop, but that gets 95 revenue compared to 85, so we'll go with the higher end of the revenue. And what I haven't noticed, and you may notice, is that food shop on the end doesn't have electricity, because I never put the electricity cabling that far along. So go to electrical cabling, and there we go. So now they're being served with electricity and water. Okay, so we can move away the utility page, and now we have 5 legal offices that are all available to move in, but it expects courier services. So courier services are expected there, so let's speed up time. Because our construction guys are still working on the top part of the building at the moment. They haven't yet finished. In fact, I think he's probably thinking, where's lunch? Okay, so courier services is required for the legal offices. So let's put that in. There we go. Okay, and now we can populate the legal offices. So that's 160 a day, very nice, 115. And of course we're going to fill up the rest of the building as well, so it's fine. We're reaching the end of day 2 now, and we've got 4,866 left, and yesterday we were at minus 315. Now that number isn't going to be much better yet. Total revenue of only 175, expenses of 1,850. So we're at minus 320 a day now. So we're still in the negative, but now it's time to put in some more offices. So there we go. And that side as well. There we go. Okay, now let's start populating these across, but we need to make sure that our utilities and everything else are available there as well. So we've got A and Ribeiro, that's okay. Let's make sure, yep, electricity is going to all of them, so that's good. Okay, so that one can go in. All of that one's expectations are met, so that can go in as well. In fact, pretty much all of them can. There we go. The accounting office, that needs a phone line. Okay, so that accounting office needs a phone line before they'll move in. So we need to put in a phone at the bottom to feed that up into the cabling box. So let's let all these guys move in. Again, fast time. You'll tend to find when you first start your tower, you can run pretty much at accelerated time the whole time. And even as I play through the game, and as you watch this series, as the tower develops, where I'm getting $19,000-$20,000 a day so far in game currency. So not enough electrical transformers in the building. We're already running out of electricity, so let's add another transformer. There we go. So that gives us an additional capacity of 10. Now we also want a phone line in as well, because that will allow us to put in more offices, but we shall wait for now. Okay. So everyone's moved in. People are using the shops, as you can see. Satisfaction's okay. They had almost no revenue at all today so far. That one's doing a bit better. So far 64 revenue, and the rent is 95. So as long as they earn more money than their rent, they tend to be happy. And later on, as we get into the series, you'll see you also have to start worrying about maintenance of the building. As the office units and restaurants and everything else get older, they need to be maintained and redecorated. Which gives you an additional charge for maintaining the building. But then there are also ways of improving the build-up of grime in the building, but we'll get to that when we have the ability to do so. Okay, so let's get some more offices moved in. There we go. That one's going to be a happy chappy, but not just yet, because that list won't change. And if you run out of offices to allocate, you can advertise at a cost, and you will then get new tenants walking in. Okay, so that was 480 minus 1350, but we're only minus 100 a day now. So we're getting closer to turning a profit, which is the important thing. Because although you get given a fair amount of money at the beginning, you will tend to want to make sure that you're turning profit, so that your amount obviously continues to go up. Because if you're negative, then you have to start clicking on the little bank symbol that's next to your total balance to take out loans to try and get yourself back into the positive. So maintenance office, that's what repairs broken items. So if your elevators or your transformers break or anything else, those guys will go to the thing that's affected and will fix it for you. Okay, here we go, start of another day, 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, let's put that in. Might not bring much revenue, but it's an available office, so there we go. They're all happy chappies, 160 and 165. However, we haven't actually laid the phone lines yet, so that's something to keep in mind. And we've just got one prestige. So now we have some more decorating options because we've unlocked our first star. So as you can see at the bottom, everything's lit up orange where there are new things that we can do. And now that I have a prestige of 1, there are now creative offices that want to move in. So we'll drop those in as well. And now we need to put in the phone lines. So let's install a phone transformer, which again gives you a capacity of 10. And there are 3 flavors. First gives you 10, second gives you 50, and the third gives you 100. Okay. So what are our new construction options? Okay, so we can now put a mover's office. What that allows you to do is pick up and move something. So any unit you can move into empty space in your building. That's a shoe shining station, costs 50 a day, but obviously anyone that is coming into the building. Might use that shoe shining station, so we'll put that in. And our population underneath the 1 star at the bottom, you can see is now 22. So we have a building population of 22 people. Okay, so yesterday the revenue was 64 and today the revenue was 64, and they didn't turn a profit yet. And the other has only made a revenue of 7 and nothing so far today. So again, that's because the population in the building at the moment is still relatively low. So let's get some more offices in. And there we go. Okay, so that's going to need electrical and phone line. And we've just completed the contract. So there we go. So we've got a little cash bonus there, and we're now at plus 225 a day. So we're now in the positive, which is where we want to be. We've got one more creative office that wants to move in. Okay. They're all covered with power. Next is phone. So let's put in the phone lines. There we go. That's it. Okay, so they will move in and they will be happy as they move in. Because if you forget to do it before they move in, and as you can see we're using close to maxing out our power, so let's put in another power transformer, because if you get very close to capacity and you don't put in extra capacity, you'll find your transformer will break down, your tenants will move out, and you will lose your prestige. And losing your prestige this early in the game is not a good thing to go back to 0 stars, because you'll then struggle to fill out the office spaces. Okay, so we're running on high speed. We now don't have much working capital. We're down to 2,203, but we are in the positive. Okay, everyone's coming into the building. And the day is officially started as we roll through the hours. So at the moment we have no additional requirement for additional office capacity, but we do need to add 1 more insurance agent, 2 more accountants and 1 more creative office to unlock the next contract. But let's next pick another one. So have a daily income of 3,000. There we go. That's already 75% complete. So we're getting there already for that one. And that also gives you an additional $500 when you sign the contract itself. So you'll find there's a signing bonus and then there is a completion bonus for contracts. That chap saying he wishes he could get some coffee, and there's a coffee place. Who'd have thunk it, eh? Too bad there are no dinner spots. Well, that's because the building's not big enough yet to have medium restaurants that serve dinner. Now we have unlocked some art. So as you scroll through, you can see, there we go, fountains, outdoor and plazas. Plazas you unlock much later on. So inside the building you have lots of different options as well, including seasonal things that you can add to your building, so you can give it a Christmas theme if you want. But at the moment we're just doing this for income, so we're at 305 per day now, so we're up another 100-ish, and we were just over 2,000. Okay, we've got space for 1 more creative office, and that expects bottled water services. Okay, so phone and electric is all good. We don't have anyone crying out for additional services yet. Our phone demand is currently still 6. It's now 7 that office has moved in. So we're still just under capacity. So we don't need to worry too much, because obviously each one of those transformers that you put in has an additional cost to bear each day. And we're trying to keep things in the green. office supply services needed. Okay, so go to our additional services for offices and then go to office supply services, and we can plonk that in there at the end, or there. Where should we put it? Put it there. Okay, now we can hit fast forward again. That's it, run on high speed. Our construction chap has now built that. So the copy services, the office supply services and the courier services are all there. Now that needs bottled water services. Okay, so again, we go into and have a look, and there's bottled water services. That's going to cost 75 a day. But we are now servicing the building as they require. Again, not turning much profit this place. Seems like nobody wants a coffee and a donut for their lunch. Everyone's a bit frowny. I'd love a cup of coffee right about now. There is a place that serves coffee, guys. Come on. All you have to do is go down one floor to the end of the building, and there's the place that serves coffees. Everyone getting paid that they haven't got coffees. Right, now that we've used up most of the space, let's make the building a bit bigger and increase the basement as well. There we go. As you can see, it's a fairly easy format to use. You can see the amount of tiles that you're currently using with the maximum. So a maximum of 40 floors, 180 tiles wide, and a total floor area of 6,000 tiles. Now, as you develop further along in the game and get more buzz and influence, your influence will allow you to unlock additional upgrades for your building. And stuff that gets influence is like luxury offices, apartments, the higher end stuff. But let's put another food place in. And what we'll do is we will choose a cafe. Cafe and bakery serves coffee and lunch with a revenue of 140, and it needs water. So we're already paused, so that's good. Now we're going to need electricity as well. Let's get that water pipe across. And I seem to have missed the electricity there. Even though I've just added an entirely new section to the building, I completely forgot to add the power supply. Oh, there we go. Can't function without an electrical line. Whoops. Failed to notice that on the installation of the unit. Let's put the cabling all the way down to the end for when we expand the building further. Okay. Back onto fast forward. There we go. So we're up to 460 a day profit now, and yesterday we turned 2,310 in rent, so we're not far off the 3,000. We just need one more insurance agent and 2 more accountants to fill the basic offices contract. So hopefully both of those contracts will be fulfilled soon. Alright, we're at 4 o'clock in the morning. So another day is rolling by. Here we go, 5 o'clock in the morning, people start coming in. Donut and coffee shops. Nobody else in the building yet. And 7:30, we're rolling up to 8 o'clock in the morning. Here's a world that doesn't exist anymore, eh? Going into an office building. At the times of COVID, most of us work from home, and in fact I don't see that changing long term going forwards either. The world of office work is, I think, something that may well become a relic of the past. On my LinkedIn, there was a survey, and 330,000 people responded, and I put an article on my LinkedIn. Of those 330,000 people that responded, 74% wanted to work from home either 3 days or more. So 3 days a week or more. And only 5% of those respondents actually wanted to go into the office 5 days a week. So I think the 5-day week in the office is most definitely going to die. And companies that fail to recognise that and allow continued flexibility will probably lose staff. Oh, somebody else complaining there's no dinner spots because we're at nearly 8 o'clock in the evening. Because of course our construction staff are in the building 24/7. They never leave. So they are at the whim of the time. Now you can put in all-night diners as well, which, thinking about it, is something that still isn't in this building even when it gets much, much bigger. Okay, so where are we now? We are at plus 580 a day, so we're getting better. We still need one of each office to be able to complete that contract. And currently no more offices want to move in, so we are at the limits of what we can currently do. But what we can do is we can advertise. So let's advertise for accounting offices, because we do need some more. Okay, there we go, and we should get some additional applicants. Here we go, so we've got 2 more accounting offices that want to move in. So 145, Block and Associates and Eddie Wang and Co. There we go. Phone lines are there. That's very good. So is electricity. Perfect. Okay, get rid of that. So we've now fulfilled our accounts, our lawyers and our creatives. All we need now is an additional insurance agent. So it only costs 50 to advertise for that. So let's get that done. And then we'll get that contract fulfilled and we'll get a nice little kickback, and that'll give us some additional funds in our coffers as we've now unlocked medium offices and also the next size of residential property as well. As you can see at the bottom of the page, everything's gone orange for offices and residentials. Now residentials I won't add until later in the series, because as I said, the important thing is to get that initial profit. So here we go, completed basic offices, and we've got a reward of 1,000. Thank you very much. Now we can pick the next one. More people needed. Building population of 50. We're at 41 already, so let's sign the contract maybe. Let's have a look what else there is. Studio, apartments, bit of variety. Retail, desert. There we go, already completed a bit of variety, so that was an instant cash bonus because the building had already fulfilled the parts of that basic contract. Okay, so go back up, industry diversification. Okay, what's that, 12 medium offices. Okay, more people needed, building population of 50. Okay, that's a more simple one, so let's sign that. And we're already 81% of the way there because the building population is currently 41. Okay. So now we can build a construction office, an interior designer, politics and a building manager. Now the building manager is one of the most important ones because that allows you to have more construction people in your building. And we can also now build medium offices, but for that we're going to need more space. Okay, so back to the construction options, and let's put in another floor, seeing as we now have nearly 6,000. Okay, and again, lift, put it up to the top floor. Oh, we've just finished another day. And we are now at plus 1,050 for the day. So it's getting better. And see, what we're doing is we're not expanding too fast and spending all of that initial money. So we now have a building that is generating over 1,000 a day, has a series of office units, 3 small restaurants, and the associated building services that those offices need. So we'll let our construction guys work through. Let's put the cabling boxes up as well. Of course, what I failed to do, you will see, is put in the water. So we're going to have to put that from a different place. So let's put that there, because we forgot to put in the plumbing closets. So the wiring closets all went on the same place, but the plumbing closets look a bit silly because they're starting from the first floor. But it's fine. You don't have to have a quality of design. Everything doesn't all need to line up nice and neat. Unless, of course, you have OCD, in which case everything will line up nice and neat. But it's something that doesn't bother me. With space for 2 medium offices, there we go. That's 2 medium offices. That's space for a small one, so we'll jam that in there. And what we'll do is we'll see who wants to move in. No one, because we need a greater variety of restaurants that serve dinner. Okay, fair enough. And that would then also expect janitorial services and commercial printing services. So let's make the building a bit bigger. Let's expand the building this side as well. There we go. Still got just over 5,000 left, so that's good. Let our construction guys work away. And something else you want to do at some point in time, and you'll see when I do it as well, when the next lift shaft goes in, is to introduce the lift into the basement. Because currently everyone in that basement has to use the stairs and then walk to the elevator. And you can also see that in that ground floor offices there is dirt starting to form on the back walls. Okay, so empty restaurant space. Oh, we're at the end of another day. Plus 960. So we lost some money. Now, cafes, see that's coffee and breakfast, that's coffee and lunch, that's lunch, that's lunch. And I think you'll find the donut shops, of course, are also lunch. So we'll just put in another one that serves coffee and breakfast on the other side of the building, so it replicates what's on the other side of the building. Now, legal offices, okay, so we can put that in. Now, of course, we now need the electrical cabling. There we go. So now we would need maintenance. So building staff, maintenance office. There we go. And you'll see that the restaurant moved out immediately because I hadn't put the electrical line into the additional part of the building. So not great. And until the guys build that maintenance office and the maintenance workers actually come into the building, no one's going to fix that elevator. So there we go, they've sat down, they're reading a newspaper. Oh, they've realised that they actually need to go and do something. So they'll get that lift fixed, and we now have $480 worth of maintenance to do to the building, which will now get all of those offices that I was just mentioning looking dirty, nice and clean again. Our power usage is nearly maxed out, as are our phone lines. Okay, let's increase the basement size. Oh, and we've just lost a power transformer. And we just lost another office resident as well, and the food place, because I wasn't quick enough to get another power generator installed, just as I was talking about it. So these are the disasters that if you're running at high speed and you forget to slow the game down, you then suffer with. I just lost one office and both of the food places on the right hand side of the building. And also we're now down to plus 465 a day. So you need to pay attention to what's going on. You can run it at high speed, but this highlights the fact that you do need to be careful. Okay, so we need to replace what was lost. So let's put in a food place. There we go. And I'm trying to remember what was there. It's fine, we'll put in that place there. Okay. Make sure it's actually got the services that it needs. Okay. Now the medium office is probably not going to be able to move anyone in yet. Okay, so we've got 2 small cafes now. But of course it's places that need dinner, and for that you need a medium restaurant. Revenues yesterday of 131, so very close to a profit now. So again, need a greater variety of restaurants that serve dinner. Okay, let's replace that small office that disappeared and put in a couple more because we've got plenty to fill. So insurance, there we go. Accounting office and insurance. Accounting office, there we go. Now make sure we've got the utilities in place to cover them. So power and phone line. Oh, keep thinking I'm clicking on it and I'm not. There we go, phone lines, lovely. Okay, so cancel that off and change that, there we go. And for now, that is Project Highrise, the perfect start. As you can see, you still hit issues and everything else, but as we come to the end of this day, you should see that it will go from plus 465 a day to a little bit more. So that's the influence that I was talking about. Oh, and we've completed the contract as well for incremental income. Very good. So we're back to plus 930 a day. And we're at population 47 out of 50 needed for the next contract. So electricity is now okay. Water is okay. The demand is only 3. Phone lines, we're going to need to put in another transformer before we even think about putting in more offices. Okay, there we go. And everything else is okay. Well, I do hope you've liked this first video in the series, and I do hope you'll subscribe and follow as we progress through for hints and tips for building your own perfect tower. But until next time, I'm Know-It-All Gaming. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night.